VCT Iceland was a tournament for the ages, from the NA vs EU storylines that were built, to the rising wildcard regions that looked to establish their dominance in international Valorant. That tournament was entertaining to watch. If you were paying close attention, there was one agent that stole the show in several matches, and her name was JETT. What's going on, ProGuides family? It's your host Sergeant Frost, and today we're going to give our take on the top 5 best JETT players internationally right now. Of course, none of this is absolute, as there are plenty of great players out there, but these players are who we believe are at the top currently. Make sure to let us know who your favorite JETT player is in the comment section down below. While we're on the topic of watching insane JETT players, if you want to level up your JETT gameplay, then you should check out our website ProGuides.com. On our website, we recently teamed up with 2 VCT Iceland competitors, Sentinels TenZ and Team Liquid Scream, where they created comprehensive guides for game fundamentals and how to master the duelist class. Also, don't be afraid to reach out to our high-level coaches who are ready to lend a helping hand with any of your Valorant gameplay needs. Now, let's hop right into the video. It should come as no surprise to you that TenZ holds the #1 spot as the best JETT in the world currently in Valorant. TenZ is not only a pioneer for several JETT playstyles, but he manages to keep an impressive stat line and find ways to always hard carry his team. His aggression with JETT in-game is unmatched, and he practically invented bursting into a site while dashing into his own smokes. He finds ways to create space for his team on site by throwing himself at his enemies to force them to take duels on his terms. He pioneered a playstyle of weaving smokes into his gunfights to mix up his movement and keep his enemies on the back foot. Not to mention, he is currently the world's best team behind him supporting his play, unlike any team he has had before. He is the best JETT in the world because he has mastered and excelled at every type of playstyle with JETT, and he can use any weapon with her to cause absolute chaos in game. He can AWP with her from close and from afar, he can rifle with the best players in the world while still playing to JETT's strengths, and he's not above using a shotgun and dashing into his enemies to create chaos and score some easy frags on closer angles. The scary part about TenZ is that he is so young, and his potential is so high that it is very possible that he hasn't even reached his peak with JETT. With JETT being such a high skill ceiling agent, TenZ is one of the few people capable of pushing the limits of what can be done in Valorant. Every time you see him lock in this agent on his streams or in a pro match, you know you're in for a show. What separates him from many JETT players is how he is so proficient at so many different styles of play. Honestly, it's insanely hard to pin him down at any point. Some players can only use the operator as a crutch when using her, and some players can only rifle when using her and they abuse her dash and smokes to get out of engagements. Some players only use the Judge and Bucky while using her because they want to dash into their enemies' faces. TenZ has taken each of these playstyles and mastered them to bring a complete version of JETT that can utilize any of these strategies on a whim, and that is what makes TenZ a cut above the rest. The second player we will be talking about today is Fnatic Durka. One recurring theme you will see with all these professional JETT mains is how young these players are. Fnatic Durka just turned 18 this February, and he is one of the best JETT mains in the entire world. Durka is known for his hard carry playstyle with JETT. Many times on save and buy rounds, you'll find this Finnish player running around with JETT knives and collecting multi-kills with ease. After analyzing his gameplay, Durka plays JETT in a special way where he can consistently create space for his team. He isn't afraid to dash forward into the bomb site or into the middle of the map to catch players off guard. This allows for him to gain map control and get free kills after he gets done brawling it out with several enemies at the same time. One of the key traits a real JETT main needs to have is selflessness, because you have to be okay with dashing into enemies and potentially dying in order to give your team an opportunity to advance in behind you. As long as your teammates trade you out and make sure they have the man advantage, your sacrifice will never be in vain. This is a common theme you will see in Durka's gameplay. The reason Fnatic were able to make it so far in the tournament and threaten Sentinels for the title is because Durka was the X factor in all their matches with JETT. Although Durka did not perform nearly as well as he normally does against Sentinels, the space he created as a fearless entry was more than enough to break open sites even if he wasn't on his A game. The future is bright for this young Finnish entry frag duelist main, and I think if Fnatic lets him stay on his JETT, then we will be seeing a lot more Fnatic later this year in the Champions Tournament. Before we move on, we have to get to our question of the day. Today's question is, who's your favorite JETT main to watch? It can be any pro player from any region or even any content creator. Personally, my favorite JETT to watch is RB on Vision Strikers in Korea. I really like watching international JETTs because I feel like they play JETT almost like Tracer or Genji from Overwatch. We want to know who your favorite JETT is, so let us know in the comment section down below. Now, let's hop right back into the video. TenZ might be the best JETT player and pretty much the best player in the world, but in close contention for the best JETT of NA is V1 Penny. Penny was relatively unknown before VCT Iceland, but after his mind-blowing performance with JETT in the tournament, I think this young gun has earned himself the title of Captain America after he saved his team with the improbable clutch rounds on his JETT. Many JETT mains around the world are known for different things in their gameplay. For example, Wardell is known for his long-range opping skills with JETT, while TenZ is known for being a master of navigating duels as JETT, and Baby Bay is known for being an aggressive maniac. Penny, on the other hand, stands out for something truly unique, and that is his plays with JETT knives. If you paid attention to his JETT gameplay in the VCT tournament, almost all of his big clutch plays were made using JETT knives. Right now, there is no pro player that I have personally seen that is deadlier with JETT knives. Penny is on another level when it comes to utilizing JETT knives combined with her movement and outplay potential. In a way, Penny almost plays with knives like he's a Genji main that somehow learned to be a Widowmaker with how precisely he cuts apart his enemies at a distance. Every time in game I see him jump in the air with Jett's ult activated, I know we are truly in for a show. There are a lot of ways you can judge and separate different Jett mains, but how well they use her knives is definitely a niche that V1 Penny has dominated. I will admit, Cnet is a relatively unknown player that not many people have heard about yet. But if he keeps up his high level of AWPing on Jett, it won't be long before he becomes a household name in the community. Cnet is another young gun from EU that hails from Turkey and plays on the team Ascend. Cnet's claim to fame is his ultra-aggressive AWPing style that he utilizes with Jett. Earlier in the video, we talked about the unique aspects of Jett's kit that each of these pro players use to dominate in their games. One technique Cnet is insanely good at is using the AWP with Jett in extremely close quarter situations to get picks. If you compare Valorant's operator to CSGO's AWP, the operator is inferior to the AWP for several reasons. One of the biggest reasons is that Valorant's operator has bad handling which prevents it from being used up close, like the CSGO AWP is capable of doing. This does not matter to Cnet, because he will get up close and personal to find AWP picks in his games. Most pro players in Valorant like to keep their distance while AWPing in case they miss their shot. This is due to the operator having a slower rechamber time, which is a window for punishment if the AWPer misses their shot. Cnet lives life on the edge when he plays Jett with the AWP, because many times on defense, he'll be the first player to swing a corner when the round barriers fall and land himself a cheeky AWP kill. This is his signature with his Jett, because he's never discouraged from wide swinging a corner looking for a shot, hits it, and then immediately dashes out in the blink of an eye. While Cnet is the king of aggressive AWPing on defense, he is still an exceptional rifler on Jett as well. He brings the Baby Bay playstyle of dash into your own smokes and then jump out of them into the EU region. Most Jett players in EU are regulated to playing Jett passively and sitting far away and taking pot shots at their enemies. In fact, Jett as a whole isn't a very common pick in the EU pro scene. I think it's only a matter of time before Cnet's playstyle becomes commonplace among Jett players in EU. And if you look at players like Fnatic Durka, I think many people are catching on to his Jett playstyle quite well. Last but certainly not least, we have to include Mr. I Don't Miss, TSM Wardell. Wardell is someone who shows consistency in the way he plays, whether it's in his big streams or during pro games. If you tune into his stream, you'll find him farming clips of his Jett, dismantling teams from the first round until the last one. Wardell's solo play is exceptional to say the least. One aspect of Jett's playstyle that Wardell takes advantage of is that she is arguably the only agent that can AWP on attack just as well as she can AWP on defense, and Wardell abuses this. If you watch Wardell's gameplay, he is very different from the likes of TenZ, Cnet, or Baby Bay. Those players thrive when Jett can close the gap and get in your face and force you to hit your shots up close. Wardell has been an AWPer for years in CSGO, and this shows in his playstyle, because usually he opts to keep his distance and frag you from far away. In solo queue, Wardell has some insane shots he has hit from insanely long distances on all maps. It's not uncommon to see him hit a shot on Icebox from Snowman to be long, or many times you'll see him hit wall bangs through the walls in mid on Ascent. Also, Wardell is one of the few players who strictly only plays Jett due to her synergy with the operator. His achievements in pro play are nothing to scoff at either. With over 8 first place finishes in tournaments last year with TSM, it's safe to say that Wardell's Jett was a big factor behind that team's success. Back when Jett was an unpopular agent earlier in Act 1 last year, Wardell was not afraid to make use of his main with or without the AWP in his matches. TSM won many matches including the FaZe Invitational off the back of his Jett play during that tournament. I know it's hard to believe, but Jett wasn't always the most popular agent in pro play. In fact, she wasn't that popular at all before the operator meta started around August of last year. I guess you can truly call Wardell a pioneer because he was creating a playstyle with Jett that many pro players would soon adopt in their own games later on. Wardell might not be a one-of-a-kind Jett anymore, especially now that she is a widely adopted agent in most team comps internationally. But you can still claim that he was one of the first to bring her into the professional scene. And there are few players who can still match Wardell when he has his trusty operator. With the potential price reduction coming to the operator in future patches, Wardell might be getting a big buff to his power level as well. Well everyone, that is all we have for the 5 best Jett players currently in the world. If you liked the video, then be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you enjoyed the content. We upload new videos just like this one every single day, and the best way to stay notified of that is by ringing that notification bell. Don't forget to check out ProGuides.com to gain some access to some truly amazing coaching. This has been your host, Sergeant Frost, and I will see you all in the next one.